Moped. Police are now looking for whomever is driving a gray 2012 Honda Accord that is missing a front bumper. Dunn died at the scene. 2 long-serving deputies with the Simpson County Sheriff's Office are under investigation, reports WLBT. The deputies, according to the TV station, are Marvin Miller and Michael Payne, and social media messages are being cited as evidence that they may have sexually harassed women and misused evidence. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
It's another sunny weekend on the reservoir. Beethoven's Boardwalk. Come on out this weekend. Enjoy a pizza in Acme Pizza. Enjoy a steak in the Fork and Flame Steakhouse. Or enjoy music. Friday night, it's Sweet Tooth Jones. And country invades our house with the Jason Miller Band. Also, Father's Day weekend, don't miss the Father's Day barbecue. Yes, our buffet on Sunday will be all barbecue, brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken. We'll also have baked beans, potato salad, coleslaw, and all the barbecue will be slow smoked in pecan wood on our Southern Pride smoker. The party's happening in one place on the reservoir, in the sunlight and on the deck at Beethoven's Boardwalk. Come try all the dining concepts of Acme Pizza, Fork and Flame Steakhouse, or the live music venue. Beethoven's Boardwalk, 135 Madison Landing Circle, next to Cock of the Walk on the reservoir. Come see us.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
If it feels like the world's gone a little crazy lately, you're not wrong. They say parents should have a voice. But what happens when no one's listening? Forget the noise, the narratives, and the nonsense. It's time to have real conversations, stand up, speak out, and shine a light on what's really happening inside our schools, our systems, and our government, and what it really means for your family. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show, where we believe in truth over talking points, facts over feelings, and the courage to say what others won't. Because when it comes to our kids, silence is not an option.
Only in America, dreaming.
Welcome in to the Lindsay Beckham Show. It is Friday, another yucky day out there. Hopefully the sun will come back at some point, but we are live. A little rain can't stop us here in the WYAB studios. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. I'm super excited. This is going to be a girl power show, Kristen. I'm joined by Kristen Vance Richards. Do you go by all three?
Yes.
I have another friend over in Texas whose name is Kristen Vance.
Oh, yeah.
And spelled the
That's
same way
amazing.
and spelled the same way and everything.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's her married name, but I see you and her pop up and I have to distinguish who's who
Okay,
on the
alright.
socials.
Yeah.
But you are published Forbes author
Yes.
and very much on a mission to empower women and how to live their best life, how
Yes.
to be financially stable, and how to deal with thoughts of not being financially stable, the
Yep.
anxiety that kind of sneaks in and, like us women do,
Mhm.
causes us to really worry and become concerned and not be able to really live life.
Absolutely.
So I would love for you to just kind of start with, tell us who you are. Tell us your story. I want to hear all about it. Pull that
Okay.
mic to you a little
Yep.
closer to your mouth.
Sure.
And I just want to hear how you got to where you are. How did you become published in Forbes? Like, start at the beginning.
Well, it's been a very long journey, and this has been a dream of mine. And, as dreams go, you never know if if you'll be able to achieve them or not, but you do the next right thing and the next right thing and the next right thing and hope that it one day comes to fruition. And so I'm very excited to have my second Forbes article published yesterday.
That is incredible.
Yeah. So I am just thrilled to have this platform to empower other women to help get through whatever life throws their way. We never know what to expect. And yet life has hurdles. That's just part of life. And I want to empower women to have what they need to be financially stable so that no matter what comes, they have the opportunity and capability to move beyond those struggles that they are faced with. But to start from the beginning, kind of fell in love with this area back in 2009. I was a student at Florida State University in the PhD program.
Are you from
there.
Florida?
I'm not. I'm born and raised Morgantown, West Virginia.
Okay.
Did undergrad in Nashville, Tennessee at Belmont University. My master's degree at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia.
You've been all over the place.
Lived in DC and worked for a few years, and then headed down to Tallahassee, Florida for my PhD. So yes,
Awesome.
yep, did a lot of traveling. So I spent time kind of reflecting on what I wanted to focus my area of research on, and I realized that a lot of people were talking about money and financial planning, but they weren't talking about the psychology of money. And as someone who was burdened with about $95,000 in student loan debt across 2 degrees, and mind you, I had worked multiple jobs throughout both of my degrees. I was an RA, loved working with students at both undergrad and master's programs. And so that took care of my housing, my room and board,
Oh, and RA is
a resident assistant.
those-
Yep. And a graduate assistant at the University of Pennsylvania. And I had quite a lot of scholarship money academically as well. I still ended up with $95,000 in student loan debt. Yes.
We've got to do better. We have
We
got
do.
to make it more affordable for people to have a higher education.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure. So what I did was, as soon as I got out of my master's program and got to work in Washington, D.C., I knew I was going to have to start climbing myself out of that debt, but also wanted to start my retirement accounts at the same time, because I knew I'd heard little murmurings from like at the time Susie Orman, maybe Dave Ramsey about the importance of that, but I didn't quite know what to do. So I did what any hardworking woman who was raised by 2 parents that are both entrepreneurs does. And I took on as much overtime as I possibly could and side hustles. But I also couponed my way all the way to Ireland, if you can believe it or not.
To Ireland.
To Ireland, yes.
How did you coupon your way to Ireland?
So I realized when I started my first job that my colleagues were going to Starbucks every single day. And I saw the price of coffee in Starbucks there, and I knew we had free coffee at the office, and I could also sip my water. And I added up how much they were spending across the year, and I thought, well, I'm going to want a vacation this year, and I love international travel. Studied abroad when I was in undergrad, and I'm going to find a way to not only work overtime, pay down these student loans, but find a way to get to Ireland. And so I spent my time, drinking the free coffee, and on the weekends, I realized that I could sort of clip coupons, focus on those grocery store sales, and get my grocery budget down as low as possible to help make my money go further.
Mhm.
So here I was, 22 years old, and I had friends telling me they were too young to be worried about that kind of thing. And I said, well, I'm too young not to, because I want every dollar to have an aim and every dollar to go as far as possible.
I may need you to move in with me and teach me how to do all these things.
We can be 2 single moms that are just taking on the world, Lindsay. That would be great. Yes.
I would love it.
Yes. So it wasn't one of those like stockpiling, hoarding, grocery store items or going in with a giant wad of coupons. It was, can I get my grocery budget down to $30, $40 a week so that I had the ability to maximize that money? And then I realized from an hourly rate, I was making good money by cutting that budget.
Mhm.
And it just kind of progressed from there. Not that I wanted to get a PhD in couponing by any way, but what I reflected on was like, there's psychological impact here.
But
And
just the Starbucks money
Yeah.
alone, that is, when you add that up over time,
yes,
that is a huge chunk of money.
it is. It is. Now, I don't want to deprive anybody of their Starbucks treat at all. And I don't want Starbucks to come at me. But for me, it just wasn't a priority to drink my coffee from Starbucks. For others, it may be. And that might be the self-care that they need in the day to get through their day, right? So it's important to figure out what your values are and what your priorities are, and then spend your money in alignment with that. So that might not be the right approach for everyone, but it was for me at that time.
And you were doing this before having children.
Yes.
You started out this way.
I started out this way, and believe it or not, my dissertation happened to be on couples, families, and money. And little did I know at the time I would be separated and divorced 2 years later. So
Life happens.
Life does happen. There's no crystal ball, as
No.
you know.
No.
And what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. I never necessarily wanted to be this strong. I'm strong enough, Lord, please.
When people say that to me, I'm like, I didn't get a say so in
I
it.
know, right? Yes, it's actually a really frustrating thing when you have people tell you you're so strong. Well, I'm like, I didn't necessarily want to be this strong.
I didn't ask for it.
Yeah,
I just
didn't ask for it.
What else am I supposed to do but
Right?
continue to keep on
Yes.
keeping on?
Just got to keep on putting one foot in front of the other. So, yeah.
So you found yourself in a place where it definitely made all that worthwhile.
It did.
Starting out that way.
It did. Yes. It made it worthwhile. And all that research, I ended up with a certificate in financial planning as well as my PhD at Florida State. Was a research fellow with the National Endowment for Financial Education. Got to know Billy Hensley, the CEO of NEFI, while I was having cocktails at a financial education seminar that I flew myself to from Tallahassee to Washington, D.C. Didn't know that he would be the same person interviewing me the next week, and landed that fantastic fellowship. Yeah, so
that's a God thing. Those are those God winks, those God moments.
Yes, I truly believe that, and just again fell in love with that area of research. We started the Financial Therapy Center at Florida State University. Got to see a lot of clients there, and started publishing because a lot of folks were not talking about, again, the psychological aspects of money, but also the sociological aspects of money. So, I mean, beyond the psychology, the sociological impacts are like your family, where you come from, your nuclear family, generational impacts of money and wealth, how your community shapes your spending, saving habits, and even government policies as well, as we were talking before we came on. All of that has an impact.
Yeah.
And so putting all that together, I've developed a business called Wealth She. I'm the CEO and founder of Wealth She. And why Wealth She instead of wealthy is because wealthy has that he hidden in there.
And you're a she.
Yeah, I'm a she, and I want to empower other women.
We believe in our natural pronouns.
Yes. I really want to empower other women who might be going through transitions in life, and they might also just wanting to strengthen their family finances as well. And I wanted to create a platform for them so that they could become financially strong.
Because when you look at kind of the total picture and what the stereotypes are, you think of a family, and I mean, this is also, it's biblical. It's the way it was meant to be. Like the father is the leader of the family, the financial provider, and life happens. Like we said, there are situations, people die, people have to get divorced for one reason or another. And the family doesn't look that way anymore. Right. And women have not been known to be the ones who are able to make those hard decisions and financially provide, but we're seeing that have to happen more and more.
Yes, we are. And I want to give you a number because this, I shared it yesterday. And folks were astonished, but the median net worth of a single mom is $10,700.
And who can survive
if you have one financial emergency? You've got a kiddo that has a health crisis. If you have a health crisis, if the AC unit at your home goes out, boom, that money's gone, right? Yeah. And then if it happens to be any work attached, like 401k, where a lot of Americans have their money, you've got to take a loan out, and then you're hit with fees on that too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to pull money out
Yep.
that you think you're going to have for later, and then it's double, triple taxed, and you
Mhm.
get just a small percentage of what you actually had saved there. It's people don't know these things.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know these things unless you have somebody come along and teach you
Mhm.
these things. You just don't know.
And what you end up with is a mom that is not sleeping at night,
Right.
who is riddled with financial anxiety, that is worried to death about how they are going to make life better for their kids.
Are we going to have electricity next
Right.
week?
And
Yeah.
you're making tough choices about what you are going to do with your limited income.
Am I going to put gas in the car or go buy a loaf of bread? I mean, it's
right.
literally, I've had to think those things and make
Yes.
those decisions before.
It's hard. It's very hard. And so when I pitched actually to Forbes about a year ago, what I pitched was single moms are very strong, and single moms have had to endure a lot. And through that strength and endurance, they've developed strategies that can help them build wealth over time, which is exactly what I did. And I want to demonstrate to the world the power that these women have to make their lives better, and what we might ascribe to poverty or poverty behavior is actually really great strengths that we can empower women to continue to develop those skill sets and develop wealth for themselves and better ensure stability for their family.
I love that so much. We got to take a break, but y'all stay with us. So I want to hear, how did you get here to Mississippi? And then I want to talk to you also about, like you said, the psychological part of it. Once you do come out on the other side and you have made stability, financial stability for your family, there's still that scary, sneaking voice in your head saying it might not last. Tomorrow you may have nothing, and it's anxiety ridden, giving women all these reasons to worry. And so I want to get your take on that as well, because I know that's something you've talked a lot about. So y'all stay with us. We're going to be right back here, 103.9 WIAB, the Lindsay Beckham Show, where we are joined by my friend, Kristen Vance Richards. We will be right back. My friend, Kristen Vance Richards. We will be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
When it comes to protecting all the things that matter in your world, generations of folks in central Mississippi have trusted Allstate agent Mark Dwyron. Mark knows the right coverage with the right price, helps you feel secure and protected. For decades, Mark's been a trusted agent protecting you against mayhem that is unpredictable, and he's always just a moment away when you need him. Mark Dwyron. For auto, home, life, and more, you're in good hands with Allstate. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Come on down to Ascension. Come on in, Sunday worship 10 a.m. Amen. Jackson, Mississippi will sing with you. Pastor Christine sharing good news. Come on down to Ascension. Join the choir. Feel God's love lifting you higher. Ascension Lutheran Church for saving you a few.
Every night, thousands of Mississippians gather around the radio to follow the hottest team in baseball, the Atlanta Braves. And the voice leading the way? Madison's own Ben Ingram. Local roots, a winning team. If your business wants to connect with loyal, engaged listeners all season long, there's still time to become a Braves broadcast sponsor on WYAB. To learn more, email info@wyab.com. It costs a lot less than you think. That's info@wyab.com.
Smart business owners will tell you the best time to start a new business is now. Whether you're thinking of starting a new business or expanding an existing one, the perfect location is the Cotton Exchange Plaza in Flora. Over 13,000 cars will pass by your business each and every day on Highway 49. Space is available now, so what are you waiting for? Call the Cotton Exchange Plaza at 601-879-3503 to find out how you can expand your business today. The Cotton Exchange Plaza in Flora, where we mean business.
Managing payroll, benefits, workers' comp, and HR tasks can take valuable time away from running your business. That's where People Lease comes in. From payroll processing and tax filing to employee benefits and retirement plan administration, People Lease helps simplify your back office operations while improving employee satisfaction. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Schedule your consultation today at peoplelease.com. That's peoplelease.com.
Only in America, dreaming in red, white, and blue.
Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show. We are live here in the WYAB studios. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Of course, you can call in if you would like to join the conversation on the show today. The number 601-879-0002, or you are more than welcome to text the Lindsay Beckham Show text line. That number is 601-879-4648. I'm joined in the studio by Kristen Vance Richards, published Forbes author over there.
You're making me blush.
I mean, that's quite the accomplishment. I mean, how many people get to say that? Not many. Not many.
Yeah.
So I got a little preview of the next part of your story, but I was asking you during the break, how did you get here? And share with us how you left Florida, went to Iowa.
We left Florida State, and my ex-husband finished his dissertation. We moved to Iowa. I didn't share this part. I was 37 weeks pregnant with a baby on the way when I moved to Iowa.
Gotta love telling a woman in the third trimester that you gotta pack up and move.
Yeah. Sight unseen. Moved to Iowa, sight unseen.
Goodness.
Realized
How scary was that in and of itself?
Very scary. Like, literally met with my doctor in Florida. She said, "You're okay to travel. Get there, get set up with your next doctor." And I did, and I delivered, the next day.
I'm sure there were boxes everywhere, nothing unpacked.
And that nesting drive, that a mama has when they're about to deliver, it was like in full force, and it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot.
That sounds quite overwhelming.
Yes, got through it. But this is not something that we had planned at the time. We thought, okay, we both got our PhDs covered. Neither one had to pay for their PhDs, full scholarships there.
And that's what I was just saying. What if you had to pay?
Right.
What if you didn't have the scholarships or those grants and you had to pay for the education to get your PhDs? What kind of debt would you have been in at that point?
Probably, well over 150,000 plus. But I will also say I wouldn't have taken that on. I couldn't. I had that $95,000 in student loan debt that I was going to pay down. And if it didn't seem responsible to go on and get that PhD, I wouldn't have taken that financial risk.
But you and your husband at the time, you both have got great degrees here.
Yep.
You've come out of school. And so everything's supposed to be peachy, right?
Right. Well, so I was finishing my dissertation. So I thought, okay, he's going to have a great job, and I'm going to finish my dissertation. So that way I am not having to rely on childcare, but I'll be writing while taking care of this newborn.
Mm-hmm.
And very quickly realized that the salary was not what we thought it was going to be. And so we moved to Iowa, and I had to get on WIC and pregnancy Medicaid to supplement our income at Iowa State University.
Do y'all hear this? These are two people with PhDs.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't afford to not have Medicaid and WIC. They're having to depend on those services because they can't get a job out of school that makes enough to support their family.
My head was hung so low. I mean, I have an Ivy League degree. I had 50% of my undergrad degree covered in scholarships.
And you've always been
And
smart with money.
always been smart with money. I've always worked very hard, always had a job since I was 16 years old, even had jobs, throughout my PhD program, and think, okay, now I'm going to have my baby. He's going to have a good job. Yeah, we won't be living high on the hog or
But
anything.
we're going to be provided for.
Yeah.
We're going to feel secure.
Yeah, we're going to feel secure. And we
That wasn't the case.
weren't. No, it was not the case. And so, yeah, my head hung low when I had to make those applications. And so that, we were talking a little bit about moving to Iowa 37 weeks pregnant. And my doctor said, you're good to go. And then before the pregnancy Medicaid caught,
kicked in.
There's the phrase. Thank you. I had to wait. So time's ticking. And got to see a doctor one time before I went in to deliver my brand new baby. So, yeah.
So you had not been able to establish that doctor-patient relationship, the trust. And
nope.
So I can't imagine how scary that must feel.
It was a huge shock to have this brand new baby and in this brand new state, this brand new city. But I will say, loved our time in Iowa. It was short, 18 months. People there were just salt of the earth.
So we were talking about in the break. I've got many friends in Iowa, and I haven't met a single person from there that has not been just one of the greatest people.
Yes,
that I know.
So good, and the weather was atrocious. When actually didn't. Sometimes life gives you big surprises, and my daughter Lila was one of those. One of the best blessings and big surprise too.
God has a sense of humor.
Oh my goodness, yes, she came along. When my son Griffin was 9 months old, I found out I was expecting Lila. So I was like, okay, all right. I hear you, God. I got to finish this dissertation. I've got to get it done. And I defended the week she was born. I took a job interview the week she was born. I was ready to hit the ground running because we had struggled enough and it was time to go. But then my husband at the time got a job offer from Delta State University.
As I said in the break, y'all, I said, how did that feel to come from Florida State, then Iowa State, and then you go to Cleveland, Mississippi?
Yep.
What kind of shock was that?
To the Mississippi Delta. So I made another move sight unseen with a newborn and a 1-year-old. And it was a shock. It was a huge shock. But I just feel like if God has taught me anything, it's to be flexible and really be an acrobat, be willing to move, with whatever life brings, expect the unexpected. So that's really kind of become a strength of mine. Again, a strength that I didn't necessarily want. And
wish you didn't have so much faith in me, God.
Right? Yes. But thankful that he does.
Yes.
And so I didn't just get one job when we moved to Mississippi. I had to take on two.
Just to be able to
just
survive.
to be able to survive. Yes.
And then a third.
And then a third. So I ended up with a job at Mississippi Valley State. So I was driving 45 minutes down to Delta Devils territory and working there. I also got a job teaching online for Walden University, which I've been with them for many years now and love it. And also I ended up taking on an adjunct position in the College of Business at Delta State teaching financial planning, which I've been doing now for well over a decade.
Wow.
Yeah. So you asked, when did I see my babies? And my response was, I would get them out of bed sometimes in the middle of the night because I didn't see them much and I missed them dearly. And I just wanted to smell that newborn smell for as long as it lasted and hold them tight because at that stage, you just see them growing and making changes every single day, and every single change is precious, and you'll never get that time back.
But you also know that in order to give them and provide a life and a roof over their heads, that this is what you're having to do in that stage of life.
And what mother doesn't want to give their children the world?
Absolutely.
That's everything I wanted to be, was a wife and a mom and to serve my family. And I didn't know that it was going to take the toll that it took, and I didn't know it was going to look like it did, where serving your wife or serving your family meant not being home and having to work so much just to meet the bills, pay down the student loan debt, and also invest because investing was really important to me, and being able to start a life for my kids while also paying down my education.
What kind of toll did that take on you?
Well, it took a huge toll mentally. I couldn't sleep. I wasn't eating much. I didn't get to see my children much, and eventually we ended up, separated and divorced. So it took a big toll. And one of the key drivers of divorce today, people cite finances, but it's easy to see why.
Yeah.
Because when there's so much stress and not enough time to nurture the family and the relationship, it puts that relationship in jeopardy a lot of times. And so, yeah.
I can imagine the strain on the relationship when you have two very small children and you're both working long hours and just trying to survive.
Yeah. So,
well, we're going to take a break, but when we get back, I want to talk about how did you get from there on WIC and Medicaid, and your marriage is crumbling and you're in Mississippi, and what do you do now? And how did you get from there to now twice published Forbes author? Pretty incredible. We're going to hear all of that when we get back. Y'all stay with us. 103.9 WYAB, The Lindsay Beckham Show. I'm joined by Kristen Vance Richards, and we will be right back. Joined by Kristen Vance Richards, and we will be right back.
103.9 WYAB.
When it comes to protecting all the things that matter in your world, generations of folks in central Mississippi have trusted Allstate agent Mark Dwyron. Mark knows the right coverage with the right price, helps you feel secure and protected. For decades, Mark's been a trusted agent protecting you against mayhem that is unpredictable. And he's always just a moment away when you need him. Mark Dwyron. For auto, home, life, and more, you're in good hands with Allstate. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. Peace talks off, ceasefire on. Israel is saying it will stop hitting Lebanon. No confirmation of that ceasefire yet from Hezbollah. Fresh fighting this morning in Lebanon killed 47, after which Vice President J.D. Vance was called back from peace talks in Switzerland. Iran saying through a spokesman, peace talks can resume once the required conditions are in place. For the first time in 110 days, stranded ships owned by major companies have begun transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Gas prices falling still, though, 83 cents a gallon above this time last year. Indiana declaring a state of disaster emergency for severe weather in 63 counties. And more may be coming in the region.
You're looking into areas of, looks like the Midwest. We're going to continue to see a high-level threat, 3 out of 5, for destructive wind, large hail, and also tornadoes breaking out. Now, this does not happen till Saturday, so we're preparing ourselves for what's to come as we're heading into, it looks like, Saturday after.
We all make plans for the future, but car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Let Shelter be your shield. Come see me, Jamie Creel, 601-992-6000.
The only thing hotter than Mississippi in the summer is a Mississippi summer when the power goes out. This summer, be ready. Call Calvin Electric. They can install a permanent standby generator that automatically kicks on the second the power fails and keeps your whole house running. Hey, you already got a portable generator? Call Calvin Electric and let them set it up so you can safely plug it into your breaker box and power just the essentials. Don't wait for the next outage. Call Calvin Electric today or visit CalvinElectric.com and stay powered up when the grid goes down. CalvinElectric.com.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. here on 1039 WYAB. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here on 1039 WYAB each Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m.
Remember when Saturday meant tackling 3 projects before lunch? Now you need a nap after buying the lumber. It doesn't happen all at once. Energy slips away a little at a time. Focus does too. The team at Live Better Men's Health and Wellness helps men get answers to low testosterone, fatigue, weight gain, and more. Because getting older is mandatory. Feeling old is optional. Learn more at livebettermen.com. That's livebettermen.com.
This ad is for all the guys who work hard and they expect their truck to do the same. At RPT Commercial, we have the accessories to help you on the job site. From names like Bedrock Flatbeds, WeatherGuard Toolboxes, Nap-High Service Bodies, ARE Camper Tops, Deck Storage Solutions, and so much more. Stop by our new store on Highway 80 in Pearl and check with our expert staff and see what they can do to make the job just a little bit easier on you. At RPT Commercial, trucks live here.
Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show. We are joined by Kristen Vance Richards today. She is a published Forbes author ×2, twice now. And so we've been listening to your story, and we're at this phase of your story where you have moved to Mississippi. You don't know anybody. You have no family here. Your marriage is kind of falling apart. You're working 3 jobs. You've got a newborn and a 1-year-old. I said to you in the break, most people would just give up, throw in the towel and say, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd you get from there to here?
I will say by the grace of God is how I got from there to here. But, being born and raised in West Virginia, I think gave me a certain grit and determination that I take with me wherever I go. I come from a family of entrepreneurs that refused to throw in the towel. I saw my dad and my grandfather, my mother, my stepdad work 7 days a week. I saw both my dad and stepdad put in as many hours as they possibly could to keep my dad's business going. My stepdad sacrificed a lot of time and hours to make sure that our family was very good and stable. My grandfather worked 7 days a week until he was 87 years old and passed away. So I knew it was in my blood to keep fighting for my family.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. I made a decision that it was best for me to choose maybe Memphis or Jackson metro area so the kids could still be near their dad, but also I needed to move up in terms of salary and
more opportunity.
More opportunities, yes. And so I chose Madison Ridgeland area for the kiddos, which has been a really great choice. Continued to work multiple jobs, continued my plan of getting out of student loan debt, investing, choosing the right investing vehicles.
How did you know how to do that part of it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I wouldn't know where to start.
So because my PhD, I landed in that area of working on the psychology of money. I was blessed to spend a lot of time researching financial education, getting that financial information, and studying the psychology aspects that I kind of fell in love with Warren Buffett's training and decided I was going to pattern my investing life after what his recommendations were, because why not? He, made a huge fortune and he did it very successfully. And he challenged actually some folks, you can try and invest in these certain hedge funds, or you can try this tried and true approach, which for him was to follow the S&P 500 and really focus on no load, low fee mutual funds and see which one would beat each other out in the end. In their experiment, his strategy won. And I said, okay, I'm going to follow that strategy. I did not have a financial planner. I was my own financial planner, and I did it myself. But I will also say, reflecting back on my time working in Washington, D.C., I was blessed by a woman that came into our human resources, and she sat us all down and she said, look, to be able to build wealth, you have to be willing to take on risk and not be risk averse. She said, now that was her philosophy. Her husband did not like risk. And she said, and if you would look at our portfolios now, you would see that very clearly because I've taken on risk and my net worth has shot up much throughout the years. And my husband doesn't like it. And he basically stays right where he's at. So you can decide what is best for you. And it wasn't her job to tell us one way or the other. And she made us make our own selections for our retirement plans. But that lesson stuck with me is that, to get anywhere in life, you've got to take on a certain amount of risk. And so that's what I was willing to do. And so all of that combined, has been a significant amount of hard work, a decade of working multiple jobs. I still work multiple jobs and I probably will, indefinitely. Who
Seems
knows?
like it's in your blood.
It's in my blood. I don't know how to say no. I would love an opportunity to tell myself no. But right now, that's what led me to pitch to Forbes and sort of develop this new behavioral economics term, which is financial identity lag. Because what I found was even when you hit a 7-figure net worth, that fear of failing that keeps you awake every night, the please God, please God, please God, please God sort of prayer that I would have when I would lay my head down on the pillow to sleep and then not be able to sleep, it didn't go away.
So I'm a huge follower of Bobby Bones, and he's got a radio show. Of course, I'm always trying to listen to other radio hosts and pick and choose things that I like about them that I could incorporate into my show. He was born in Arkansas, drug addicted mother, never knew his father, poor as poor can be, never had a bedroom. And he has worked his way into this, of course, the radio show, but then of course other opportunities have come along and he's done very well for himself. He's terrified. And he talks about it often that he's going to wake up tomorrow and it's all going to be gone. Like he will make multiple house payments a month just because he's terrified that at some point he won't be able to pay his mortgage. And it has been like he's had to see counselors for it. And it's been a real problem.
Yeah.
And I know that that's kind of what this article that was published, the most recent one in Forbes, was about is how do you combat that feeling of this isn't going to last.
Yeah. So my pitch went before a team of editors, and one of the articles I pitched was one that's called Why Women Who Build Wealth Still Feel Poor. And that's what it was all about, was that anxiety, that fear that doesn't leave but stays with you. And from what I can tell in the research literature, no one's named it. And so I've named it financial identity lag, because you have this financial identity and you've achieved a certain level of wealth, but your nervous system is still living in the past
That fight
at
or
a
flight
time
mode.
when you didn't have anything, when you were scared to death that the sky was going to fall. When I would lay in bed at night saying, please God, don't let this fall apart, And so it's naming it is important, because having the vocabulary, having the words helps other people understand that they're not alone in having that.
How can people find more information about this, or find you or your organization that you have created and get help from you? Where can people find you?
So, they can read my article for sure on Forbes. My second one just dropped yesterday, and it's one that asks, am I financially okay? Because a lot of people kind of compare themselves to the benchmarks out there about net worth, retirement calculators, all of that. But those are not necessarily the best benchmarks for someone to take a look at. So you can find me, Kristen Vance Richards, on Forbes. If you Google me, I'm there. But I also am the founder and CEO of WealthShe. So if you go to thewealthshe.com, you can go to my contact us page. The site is under development with the fantastic folks at Mad Genius that are located in Richland.
Breaking news here, cutting news.
Yes, yes,
before,
yes.
Before you're even fully launched.
Yes, even before I'm fully launched. But shout out to Eric Hughes and Stacey Clark over there at Mad Genius. They're doing fabulous work to get this going because they see the importance of it. And I am offering group coaching and also one-on-one sessions for individuals that want to improve their financial life. And so why is group coaching important? Because it allows me to bring the costs down. One-on-one coaching can be very expensive. And so I also see the power when women come together in groups and learn they're not alone.
Yes.
It's so hard to be transparent about finances.
Like nobody wants to talk about money.
No.
That scares the mess out of me to talk about money.
Yes. And being vulnerable about money is particularly difficult. But if we can create that safe space where women who are struggling together can come together in a way that they can lean on one another as they establish their goals and talk about their struggles, then we can achieve great things together too.
It helps so much just to know you're not alone, because when you feel like nobody else is going through this and you see people driving cars and you have no idea how much debt they're in, but you feel so much less than, and as though maybe you're the only one who's dealing with this financial insecurity the way that you are. But when you come together in a group and you see that you're not alone, that in itself is powerful.
Yeah. If you could see, someone driving a Jeep Wagoneer and it said like negative $100,000 over the car, meaning that they're $100,000 in debt for that vehicle, and someone carrying a Chanel purse and, it's on a credit card, and you could see above the Chanel purse, like negative $50,000 or whatever the going rate is.
And you wouldn't be so jealous of those things.
Right. Yes. But we don't know each other's, personal financial statuses, and that's fine. But what I'm doing is creating an opportunity for women to be able to talk about those things so that they can build that life of financial security and stability. Because I know a lot of people that have come to me and have said, our life looks great on the outside, but I can't sleep at night. We are burdened by our mortgage, but we also have taken out all the equity on a HELOC, and we still can't meet the bills. And at the same time, we're traveling, we're going here and there. We've made these promises to our kids for a brand new car, pay off their college education, and we just don't know what to do.
And to be able to share that in a safe place where you're not being judged and nobody's going to run and repeat what you've said can just build your confidence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so having someone like me who's a trained professional, I'm a licensed therapist, I'm a financial therapist, I have substantial training in financial planning, and I've been teaching it for a decade. And that information is confidential. And the rules of any group like that would be we maintain confidentiality as well so that we can support and build and empower financial lives together. So
I love that.
What I do.
We got to take our last break, but when we get back, we're only going to have a few seconds, but I want to hear, how did you convince Forbes to allow you to write for them? Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here. 103.9 WIAB, The Lindsay Beckham Show. Right for them. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here. 103.9 WIAB, The Lindsay Beckham Show.
103.9 WIAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
When it comes to protecting all the things that matter in your world, generations of folks in central Mississippi have trusted Allstate agent Mark Dwyron. Mark knows the right coverage with the right price, helps you feel secure and protected. For decades, Mark's been a trusted agent protecting you against mayhem that is unpredictable, and he's always just a moment away when you need him. Mark Dwyron. For auto, home, life, and more, you're in good hands with Allstate. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Here is what real customers have to say about Roder's Plumbing Service.
This is Leah. I wanted to tell people what a wonderful job Roder's Plumbing did for me recently. I called, Chris Roder answered the phone. He had somebody out in no time. They fixed me real fast. I couldn't believe they came out here like that. That's all I can say.
Plumbing problems? You need Roder's Plumbing. Visit rodersplumbing.com today.
Health has always been reactive, focused on fixing problems as they happen. But with Blue Primary Care, we're taking a proactive approach, working with you to help you understand your health and empowering you to be healthy. It's time to prioritize you, your health, and your life. The results? Less worrying and more living. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
Are you thinking about your next vehicle purchase? Hi, I'm Casey Ellis, owner of Ellis Autoplex in Brandon. If you've been searching for a clean diesel or half-ton truck, your search is over. At Ellis Autoplex, we specialize in the vehicles people actually want. Whether you're upgrading, buying your first truck, or looking for something the big dealerships don't have, Ellis Autoplex is worth the drive. Stop by and see why more and more people across the Southeast are choosing Little Truck City. Follow us on Facebook or shop online at ellisautoplex.com.
This is Demario Davis from the New Orleans Saints. As a Brandon, Mississippi native, I've seen the positive effects Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge has across the state. Help us restore broken families and fight against addiction by donating an unneeded vehicle, even if it doesn't run. Mercy House will pick it up for you. All paperwork is handled and you receive a tax deduction. Call 601-572-7296 or visit vehicledonationsms.com.
Thank you for helping us get our daddies back.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's is a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic Southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show. We are joined today by my friend Kristen Vance Richards, published Forbes author. I think we've got about 2.5 minutes left, and I want you to be able to say everything that you want to get to say and wrap up what your full story and how you want to help people.
Well, so the thing you asked was, how did I convince Forbes? And so really the pitch that I gave them was that, again, the single women have incredible strength, and they have to by virtue of being a single mom and carrying that load. And so I wanted to demonstrate in my writing that they bring courage to the table, and they have to, even when the stakes are high, take on a new job, invest, do something scary, but do it scared, do it anyway. That they have become their own choice architects. So they have designed systems for themselves to get through an hour, to get through a day. And so those sometimes look like juggling multiple income streams, which is a type of diversification portfolio in and of itself. So that's a huge strength that she's got clarity, she has to know herself like no one else and be very real with herself and her history to be able to make it and go forward in life. And so that she's also got to demonstrate consistency because she's got to make thousands of small, invisible choices every single day, day after day. And those are the key to success in terms of building wealth. And so if we can capitalize on those 4 C's and then a 5th C that I call calibration, which is the conscious ongoing work required to truly inhabit your life, because we talked about that financial identity lag and the stress that still sticks with you that the sky is going to fall. The calibration requires that internal identity and a reckoning of reality with, the past is the past. What I have now is what I have now. I've developed this strength. I've developed this skill set, and it's not going away. But that requires a certain amount of calibration, a practice, an ongoing practice to reframe that what you have is with you. And so ultimately, the goal is that feeling of safety and agency. I am someone who has built this. It is real. It is mine, and I am safe. And that's why I'm here.
I love that so much. I love what you're doing. I'm going to post your article that just dropped in the comments after we get off the live stream. But thank you so much for being here. That's all the time we've got. I could keep going forever, but I'll be back Monday, same time, same place, and I'll see you guys then. Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you.